everybody? It's your boy, Shortbow Gaming here, and today we are back on the old hub of Performium, of mc.performium.net to be exact. And little Easter egg, Donnie was here in 2020, the best owl. But yes, if this hub looks familiar, or doesn't look familiar if you're a brand new player on mc.performium.net, we are currently in the museum server. This server launched about a week ago, 2 weeks ago maybe, and it basically has a whole bunch of servers that were retired by Performium that the community really loved. So I'm going to be checking out some of these amazing servers today. First, we're going to start off with Performium Wild SMP. So it basically spawns you in exactly where you left off for your other games, and this might look a little bit familiar on this channel because this is where I did my firework display a couple years ago. This was probably 2 or 3 years ago now, where we did this firework display. It was absolutely goated. I remember coming in here, pushing all of the buttons. This took a long time, lots of work to go and set up for everybody, but I enjoyed every single part of it. This was actually some of my better building too, especially with the campfires. This was when the campfires first came out, so I didn't really know how to use them or incorporate them, but that's what I did. You can't break anything. You're basically in adventure mode, but you can look at your shulker boxes and chests to see what we have. This was actually a very good, and I actually enjoyed it. This was just like I used to have like flowers and stuff. Yeah, the flowers in there. Little shed. I enjoyed it. It was pretty nice. Um, this was my escape room. I forgot about this. This was actually kind of smart by me, but it didn't really end up working the way that I intended, but it kind of worked. This was from this one video where you can put a lock on the repeater. All of these videos are actually on my YouTube channel. I don't know if the escape room still works. I think I have to set it up. Uh, and I honestly don't even remember how to get out. It's been so long. And I've never actually attempted anything else quite like this before. It was actually pretty good. And then this was under construction area. This was going to be an evoker spawner. I think it still is. This was I think a creeper. Yep, that was creeper. This one was evoker. My little beehive in here. This was all pretty good. No bees in here though anymore. This was my mall. This is basically my only base that I had. Just a whole bunch of things everywhere. Oh yes, I forgot about the birthday cakes that they had. It's been over a decade now. So this was years ago. I got a whole shulker full of them. I don't remember exactly how. Oh, I have even more. And these were all of the spawners that I didn't get to use. Awesome, isn't it? Bag milk, la la llama milk. Shout out Lazy Llama Beans. Ah, yes, this was cool. A couple of the servers back in the day, we actually, Mac and RGA were actually able to implement this where if you, and you can't access the furnace, but if you put things in the furnace, this lava actually acts as a never-ending fuel source. So it was actually pretty cool where you can get lava, you have never-ending fuel. So there wasn't really a need for coal. This is a cool little bridge that I made. I don't know whose property this is because I don't think I made that. At least I don't remember making that. Yeah, I don't remember putting that there, but this was my bridge. And escape room now open. And then you could also get here to my little restaurant area up here. And then the rest of this is basically just a mall. This is a mall. It was not completely finished. Lots of space upstairs still. But the downstairs area was pretty good. It had some stained glass, pretty much every color of stained glass you can get. Had a couple beehives and beeswax and honeycombs and stuff. That's literally about it. And then I had made some restrooms. Yes, I believe this was Venom's house. The Reaping Venom, one of our senior staff members on the team. And this was actually a pretty cool house that he built. I spent lots of time around here just admiring the house. And because he had a boat obstacle course here, like a boat track that I remember everybody used to race on and try to get the best times. So you also have access to all of your homes. And this was my home top. I don't know what I'm at the top of, but I was at the top of something. And I don't remember exactly what it was. Let's see, what other homes do I have? Geode Farm, yeah, slash home farm. Let's see what that was. I think, oh, it was a farm. I think this was a public farm, right? Yeah, public farms. This is back when people were nice. People are still nice, but people used to make a whole bunch of cool things. This is where I got lots of my crops from, actually, this public farm. So, Home Jedi, this used to be a big giant, like, temple with a whole bunch of stuff. This person clearly uh, put everything down because this all used to be one big giant, like, tower. It was actually pretty fire. And unfortunate that it's not here anymore. I would have loved to show that off and give props to that builder. So this was Casper Jack's build. He had a lot of time on his hands, and he even had a nice little mailbox out front, which is actually pretty cool. Um, it looks like there was supposed to be something here. I'm not too sure what exactly was supposed to be there, but it looks like something was supposed to be there. And obviously this is under construction. You can see in anybody's shulkers and whatnot as well. Oh, see, he's got some Jedi tech. See, this is the same guy that Blaze Lake. He was the one who made that Jedi temple before. So, Christmas banner, April special door, if you remember that meme. If you know, you know. There are lots of different hidden memes and everything. And Casper and his girlfriend Kimmy, or friend Kimmy's, I don't exactly remember. We're building this nice little tree house that they have. It was very nice. They changed it for some renovations, unfortunately, so it's not in the exact same, well, it is in the exact same state as to when it closed, but the way that I remember was different. Well, that's gonna do it here in Wild SMP. We will be back for the next server. Ooh, wow. So the next server that I played on quite a bit and actually enjoyed to play on, I spent a lot of time, maybe even more time than I spent at Wild. And it retired back in 2021, and honestly, I was very sad when this server retired because I know I built a lot there. I was starting to build my first public grinder. This was the first time I ever tried to do that, and that server is Enchanted SMP. So this one spawns me right at spawn. Dun dun dun. And these were all of the chests and stuff from vote rewards that you can get. But I actually, oh, Senkoku joined. He must be reminiscing down memory lane as well. So what I'm gonna try to do is I'm gonna try to find where my okay, he was done reminiscing on memory lane, I guess. What I'm gonna try to do is I'm gonna try to find by walking. I don't want to necessarily use my home to find where my old grinder was. This was actually pretty cool. This was a little bouncy house that was made. Yeah, and you wee. Yeah, this was actually pretty fire. I used to spend some time in there. If I remember correctly, my house should be somewhere in this direction. Oh, there's my stables. Some of the unfortunate things were that I wish like I could see where who claimed things, right? So that I could know who my neighbors were, maybe remember some stories about them, but unfortunately I don't. So this was actually a stable that I came up with. And I remember I used to do like tours. So I would get a horse. I had a whole bunch of horses here. Um, and I would ride them and we would go through tours around spawn. We would just go riding on the horses, a nice relaxing way to just go and see what other people have built. Now this is my main attraction. It says farm. If you couldn't tell with that very elongated A. But this is a farm with an arrow, in case you were really wondering. So welcome to my grinder. We are still in development, but come on in. Apparently my snow melted. But this was donations. There used to be a hopper here. I don't know where the hopper went, but the hopper used to be there. And I used to get a whole bunch of donations of stuff. Got some sea lanterns. This was, I think, spiders. No, this was guardians. I had a guardian spawner with a yeet on it for some reason. This one, it looks like a spawner. It obviously has a spawner. If I can spell GMSP correctly. Everybody also has spectator for the museum server, so they can go and investigate a little bit more easily. So yeah, this was one of the zombie spawners. I could have looked just by opening the chest. And this one I think was a spider, yeah. Oh no, this was a skeleton. It didn't work out very well. And I don't remember exactly what this one was going to be. I don't think it worked out very well either. So this was my wall of donors who donated everything. This was another spawner that was going to be made. This was another spawner that was going to be made. Back in the day, there were a whole bunch of different like spawning rules that Performium had, so that you could have smaller, compact ground grinders like this. This one used to be mushrooms, and I think this one was snowman. I think. Now let's head back on upstairs for the upstairs portion. Restricted access. You know we're going in there. But you gotta wait. At a little shop, I had some iron swords that you can buy and some shulker shells. Oh yeah, I had a cool shulker farm as well. I had a cool shulker farm. Evoker farm coming soon. I think I just got an evoker spawner too at that point. I don't remember exactly what this one was. We'll go check that out later. This one was skeleton, I think it was supposed to be. This one was the guardian spawner. Now it was supposed to be the guardian spawner. I think I took it out. I was doing a whole bunch of renovation and things because I think I had to remove this. And I also had snow everywhere. And then restricted access, authorized personnel only. I'm authorized, I think. We got shulker box. See, oh yeah, so I had a snowman spawner. 5 spiders. 2 snowmen, 3 cave spiders, a llama, a horse, and a zombie. You can't see ender chests, which is kind of sad. But I can see all of the old, like, emerald kits and whatnot. Like, that stuff was all pretty fire. Still being able to have access. See, we had Rev's head, Toto's head. I think this was actually one of the first times where I met Matoto and had a conversation with him as well. Um, this was, I think this might have been like the first server where I was a staff member on. Yeah, this is blaze spawners. Okay, so the blaze funneled down there. This was, I think, the first server that I became a staff member on, if I remember correctly. Or maybe the first server was Wild that I became a staff member on. Either way, it was a long time ago. And this was the server that I played on a lot. And I do wish that they did have another. Oh yeah, I think I just got access to this land because this claim expired or something, so I claimed it all. So I was gonna build a Christmas tree here. That's what all this stuff was for. I think, if I remember correctly. Let's go check out my house. So my house is kind of lame, I'm not gonna lie. I did like this nice loft area where I put my bed and a couple of my important stuff. So it was actually I enjoy this house just strictly because of this. They have some tools and armor. And this is when I actually cared about organizing. Super lucky I remember those. You would get those in the what crate would you get those in? I honestly don't remember. I don't remember. These are all the furnaces, more, just a lot of random stuff. One of those is, yeah, that's a trap chest. I don't know why, but it was. But let's go outside before I go downstairs. So outside I had this beauty. Yes, sir. This was my shulker farm that I created to be able to get tons and tons of shulkers. And I had lots and lots of hoppers. This is when hoppers weren't very rare. They were still harder to get, but they weren't completely like rare and hard to get. So all of this cacti, what they would end up doing is they would teleport onto these blocks because they can't teleport onto glass. So what they would do is they would teleport onto these blocks, and then whenever they opened, they would die, like to the cacti. It was the same thing on both sides. I think I was technically supposed to like fully enclose each of them, but I ran out of glass, so I just stopped it like that. Down here, it was Christmas time or getting to be Christmas time, I think, when the server closed, unfortunately. Um, or after Christmas or something like that. So I had a Christmas tree that actually lit up. I think that's the hole that I would go down to actually turn on the tree. I was gonna have a whole big giant feast with my friends. Over here was, I believe, the potion creating. Yeah, I had my potions that I would create. First time actually really making potions. I would make speed potions and all of that stuff so I could sell it, I believe. Again, not too sure why I needed potions. I was selling them on maybe AH. Down here, I think is mushrooms. Yeah, my mushroom farm. I still don't know how mushrooms grow, so if you want to tell me down in the comments, that would be great. So now we're gonna head downstairs. Down here was just a whole bunch of random shulker boxes, a whole bunch of random stuff in it, if I remember. Nothing crazy, nothing crazy. was the storage room. Down here was where I actually started to collect some things. See, I got some gold gear. I got Christmas 2019, lucky gear, food and plants, bounty gears. So we had bounties here. We collect in the PvP zone. So I got a couple bounty heads. Apparently, I think a gold pickaxe is a lucky pickaxe, but again, what do I know? What do I know? Oh, the lucky pickaxe is better than gold pickaxe. That's a story for a different day. Mob drops. Empty. Clay and colored clay. Cobblestone building spots. More ores. How many ores do I have? Not many ores. Ender chest still don't work. Banners that I could sell. You could put these on shields. So that was where I started to figure that out and create my own custom sort of banners. Granted, I used like the Minecraft wiki for banners or whatever back in the day, but you know. And here's a whole bunch of shulker shells. I don't even think I showed you how many shulker shells I actually had. I'll go back up and show you how many shulker shells that I actually had because this isn't even like all of them. I probably have a whole double chest full. It's not a lot compared to some people, but for me it was a lot. This is my little enchanting area where I would enchant things. Down here at the final level is really where some of the cool like kits that we would try to get. Like we would get the summer gear, Halloween gear from like the mega crates. Uh, Obviously, I didn't get all of them. I was trying to buy all of them before the server, unfortunately, went down. I almost got all of the Halloween gear. I was missing the helmet and I think one more like specialty item. Same with the autumn gear. I have two autumn boots. But then the kit items, these were fun. This is when Bedrock was. Oh no, we just got Netherite kit, I think, if I do remember correctly. We just got Netherite kit. No Amethyst kit or anything like that. And then we had Bedrock, which was we used for a long time. That was my go-to for the longest time. I had Obsidian, Emerald kit, and pretty much everything that came in it came with it for all of the kit sets, just so that there could be a museum like this of what everything used to be like. Unfortunately, you can't really see like the enchants and everything that were on them, but this is a moment in history of pretty much everything that used to come in these sets. Now back upstairs. Oh, I thought this was a lot more shulker shells than I had, but this chest is definitely full of shulker shells, technically. Why I did that, I honestly don't know, because all they had was shulker shells that they dropped. It's not like they dropped the meat or something. So I don't know why I did that. But then there is one more. Oh, yes, this was my staircase when I wasn't able to fly. Like how I could AFK close enough, and before like slash AFK and auto AFK, you'd get kicked if you were AFK. So this is how people stopped bypass the getting kicked for being AFK. It was just in their reach. They can't get to you. Now, the final place I want to show you and know of was actually a pretty good place, and he actually moved it before the server closed. This place was actually right next to spawn, like right in front of one of the main paths of Enchanted. And this guy made a whole bunch of different grinders in pretty much every server that he played on. And this is no exception. He made an absolutely stunning grinder and public grinder for everybody. And here it is. It is a little bit smaller than the original one that he had. And you can actually donate all your stuff. There used to be a villager here that you could trade a name tag for so you can name your things. He also had a donation box. And he spent a lot of time just being here. And I'll just go show you what up top looks like. This this is a new grinder for him, new grinder location. And it takes up a lot of this space, all this undeveloped land that you see. Yeah, it's all his. But he would go down here. Whee! So we would have all that. And then what was nice is he would get the heads so that you can tell what mobs were down in that area. As well as he did have a museum, I remember. There were a couple cool things that he had. I don't remember if it was this grinder or another grinder. Like I said, he made pretty much the same similar grinders in a whole bunch of different servers. Dan's the best. Dan's the best. He was the best. He was a goated. He was a good staff member too. Aratashi. Aratasha. So let's go check out the Iron Golem spawner. And this is pretty much what all of the hallways look like. Oh, I'm going in there because it told me not to go in. Did I go in? Let me go in. Come on. Come on. There we go. You have been banned. Oh, so unfortunately the maps don't work. I remember what this was though. This was like a whole bunch of black block, like the big giant black, or no, white. It was either black or white, so it looked like you were in a room that never ended. It was kind of scary. He has a whole bunch of those Easter eggs. Control room, shulker filter. It's like a couple Easter eggs too. Come on, here we go. Evoker plus trash. Like this is a whole bunch of everything, you know. Water buckets. This is all the behind the scenes type stuff too. Like this is how it all worked, and I always wondered how it all worked, but unfortunately I never had access. So let's go into this is all the behind the scenes stuff. Like you can see all the hoppers, all this. The normal person didn't really get to see all this. And that's what I wondered. So let's hop into GMSP and find out. So here we are. Here's like, whew, this is probably one of the biggest ones. This was his evoker farm. He had the evokers up here. All of those evokers. This was before there were limits on how many um, spawners you can have in a certain area. I used to be able to come up here and watch the evokers. Because this was an auto evoker farm, so what they would do is, or no, it wasn't. It was not an auto evoker farm. I thought it was. Maybe it is, and I'm just being dumb, and I haven't found the right spot yet. I Loki don't remember. But like, this is where all the Emmys would be when it did happen. He got sold out a lot, and I know for the Iron Golem, it was a golem like it was a golem farm. This is a ghast farm. So sort of what you see as sort of like what I was going to trying to do with mine. And then here's another big giant guardian farm. Wither Skelly. Mushroom. Shulker farm. Yeah, you had to go all the way up here and go all the way here, and you did it all with buttons. Yeah, I remember that. And then you would have to come down here and hope that nobody stole the shulkers that you were AFKing for. That happened many times and caused lots of arguments. But this place is so cool. Here's the golem grinder. You'd go up there to AFK, and the wither grinder used to be over here, but it was closed. You'd have to spawn it in yourself. There's a whole bunch of stuff. So you can go up there. Oh, yes, this was the space station. Yes. Oh, Grinder Shuttle 3, 1 and 2 crashed. Oh, this was so awesome. I loved this. I loved this. I loved this. This was so good. This was so, so good. Dan, I could be spending all day looking at all of this. But honestly, you guys get the point. This used to be a profit shop. There's one of his servers that used to be a profit shop. But all of this iron was free. And then he sorted all the poppies into there too. So this was all fire. There's a big giant sorting system. This is the sorting system. I don't remember how you make the sorting system, but you put 8 poppies in, that's all I remember. And it sorts the poppies into here. Everything else goes um, down there. So the poppy is there, and then the stone slabs. The stone slabs basically stopped it because it was held in there. It stopped the anything but the poppies from going into the chest below, and then these chests were filled with iron. So all of this stuff is so cool. This is all of his redstone that he has. I always wondered how he came up with all of this. I don't know how he did it. I honestly don't. How he had all of this time and could do all of these amazing things. Because he had all of these. He even had a slime spawner. I forgot about that. I used to get a whole bunch of slime here. Like, he has everything. Blaze, every mob that there was a spawner for, he had at least one of. And made a grinder for it. Like, it was awesome. This guy was absolutely a joke. Well, guys, that is going to do it for today's tours. And if you want me to go and tour any of these other places, whether it be Skyblock 2K18, whether you want it to be Towny RP, Perfections, we already looked at Enchanted, but if you want me to go look at specific locations, comments down below. Same thing with Wild. We can go back and look at Performium SMPs 1 and 2 as well. And if you guys want to do that, just type /museum in the main hub, and you will get put into this server where it has all of the original Easter eggs that were also in this server and hub. So if you want to go out and find those, you can. And man, do I miss this server? I'll tell you that much. I love this hub. But if you want me to go check out any of these other locations, all you gotta do is drop a comment down below. Tell me some locations you want me to check out, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye, guys.